Hey, this ain't a drill. Only time I playing is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we about to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. Everyone sick, make them pay me some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and him. Talk about the Bills, dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill when we talk about the Bills. Dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill.
What's going on? Welcome back to another live episode of the Post Podium Podcast.
Hey, this ain't a drill. Only time I'm playing is on the field.
It ain't a drill.
Why is the music doing
It ain't
that?
a drill. That's why. This ain't no drill.
It's not a drill at all. Look, I am your co-host, Aramis.
And this is
You bobcatting it.
40 keys, baby. You back in the building. Hey, you know what?
Producer in the building. What's that with y'all?
I
Hey,
keep
producer
forgetting about that
with the
part
heart.
before
Hey,
he comes right in.
I
He has a
know.
button and everything. I'm like,
It's good, because otherwise we forget.
I keep forgetting though. You know, I forget
Of course you do.
that we did a show on Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Nobody was there.
Nah.
Where were they at?
Definitely not.
I mean, you know what? We
I mean, we had like 55 people live viewing the whole thing.
But
I
you
mean,
know what? People missed it
well,
because they're not subscribed.
yeah, that's true.
And they
That's
put
true.
the
Our channel.
notifications on.
Ain't making it go ring-a-ling-a-ling.
Nah.
But they got to subscribe to our channel because, like you say, you get notifications when we send notifications. We ain't send a notification, but you still would have saw that we did a show on
That's
Tuesday
right.
had you been subscribed. So pop on over. Just I'll forgive you if you pause it right now and go over to our channel and subscribe.
Absolutely.
All will be forgiven if you just go over there and subscribe. That way you can see us when we're not with the network, when we have other things. You know, we might do a pop-up shop. Who knows?
Oh, snap, Zuzu, where you been, man? What's going on? What up, Zoomer? What up, Bones? What up? Big Papa Bill came in at
Papa Bill.
107.
He was ready.
Yeah.
I hope he's in there now.
What up, D?
I hope he slept.
All right. Let's get the stuff we heard because we got a lot to get through. I definitely want to touch on some of the stuff from the Discord chat too.
I hope you got a list.
A list?
Yeah, because I mean, I got things to talk about, but I don't have a particular order of which I want to hit them on.
Oh, if we get to it, we get to it. If we don't, we don't.
Oh, we damn sure. I mean, we darn tootin' going to get to it. No,
You had to switch up his words.
yeah, still too early in the show.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know if you watched Dwayne Carter on the Cover One network. He did not an interview, but he went through some film of himself with them.
Okay.
And I thought it was pretty interesting. But what I did take most noteworthy was the fact that he said in his college career, he didn't play above 300 pounds until after his, I believe, junior year. He hit 300.
Really?
But the Bills have him bulked up to 310. He said he went to 305 and the Bills put him at 310. So he said, I feel good. Dude, what were you best at?
Wait, I missed the player's name. Who are we talking about?
Dwayne Carter.
And he's playing at 310?
310. So his
Be
natural
ready for
weight,
him to get hurt.
well, that's the thing. His natural weight is 290, 295. Who else does that sound like?
That sounds like Ed Oliver.
And our number 2 draft pick,
Yeah.
TJ Sanders. He plays at 290, 295, but he's at 305 or so they say. I mean, let's work on getting guys to the weight they play at. You know, I mean,
Exactly.
there was a reason why Dwayne Carter looked less than in the season. And he also said, you know, that wrist injury was pretty bad. Evidently, he said he couldn't hold his phone. He couldn't shake people's hands. He said he looked down his hand. He could see the bones were separated in his hand. So
Jeez.
he had to have surgery. I tried to play through it, but it wasn't happening. So I'm willing to give him a gimme. You know, I don't subscribe that he's a bust. I don't subscribe to anybody within the last 2 years is a bust. But we need to figure out.
If there's going to be a bust.
If there's going to be a bust, you're teetering. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think he said, you know, he actually can play out wide as well. And I'm like, okay, let's see that, but not at 310.
No.
And that damn sure ain't no one tech. You know, and like Roy said, do they want Dwayne Carter as a one tech? Yes, they said they did, but I don't know why you want to do that. See, they keep trying to do Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
They keep trying to build people and put them like try to stretch them to their limits, and it's not something you should do. It's not sustainable. So I think they need to chill on that.
I just realized the other day. I was thinking about where was I when I was thinking? I might have been in the car driving, and it just hit me that Sean McDermott is running this team like a coordinator runs their whatever the side of the ball they're on. Like, think about this for a minute, right? We know that Sean has said in very recent interviews that they like to get all the guys into OTAs, figure out what they have, and then figure out what they're going to run for the season after they've seen the guys they have and pulled everything together, right? So we know that's their process. Well, what does an offensive coordinator do? An offensive coordinator usually is given players that they have to figure out what to do with. The GM will have a conversation with them. The coordinator may get the liberty to kind of express what he would like, but most of the time it's the GM saying, we think this guy is the best fit for our team and we think he can help us. The coordinator should figure out what to do with him, right? So it's this singular mindset of we're not gonna pigeonhole ourselves into, one specific type of offense. But I mean, the reality of it is you already are with the guy that you picked as an offensive coordinator. Like, his offense is Sean Payton's offense. You talk about Keon Coleman like you want him to be Mike Thomas. Like, all of these like different ways that they have of going about, putting together the team in the offseason and, figuring out what they're going to do and all. Like, it's basically ass backwards. And I apologize for my language, but like it really is. Like, it's nonsensical to just put a bunch of guys on the field and then say, okay, now that we see what we have, let's do this offseason. You end up with what you had last year, which is, well, we thought this would work. No, it's not working so well now. We got to switch it up in the middle of the season. Like, that's coordinator mentality. That's not head coach mentality. Head coach mentality is what's our identity? You've said this multiple times. This team likes to roll with no identity. Their identity is their locker room culture, but they don't have an on-field identity. And then the idea, I get being flexible. I get that. Mm-hmm. If that's where some of you are coming from in terms of, well, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself. Cool. But if you're not really, really good at multiple things, you should probably just master one thing. And the Bills offense likes to be jacks of all trades at such a B level capacity that it's not good enough in the playoffs in any facet other than Josh Allen. In any other facet of what we do, it's never good enough. How can we not get yards against the Chiefs defense when the Texans were doing it the week before?
I know somebody did.
Like, how can we why do we struggle against the Ravens defense when people were tearing them to shreds earlier in the season? Like, in the regular season, the Ravens defense was not that great. The last 5-6 weeks of the season, they went up against bums. So it wasn't like their defense got elite. They were just pretty good. They had good players. That's to be expected. But some way, somehow, the Bills seem to not find it in the playoffs.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that's an indication of a backwards mentality that's showing itself when it counts the most.
Yeah, I was going to address S1 Nico. What about Kyer Elam? Is he a bust in your eyes? I have to see him after this season because Kyer Elam was brought into play in a system that he never could play. We knew that already. So that's kind of like saying Keyshawn Wright with your right hand. I'm left-handed. I've been left-handed for 41 years. I write with my right hand, it's not going to be good. You might be able to make something out, but it's not going to be good.
Exactly.
So I can't say he's a bust like people do. People, and I think that's one of the things in the Discord that you might have wanted to touch on, the bust label.
Mm-hmm.
I think that people throw that word around too quickly, because you can't call somebody a bust when they got drafted to a system that they're not right for. Like Shaq Lawson. Yep. When he got drafted, he said, I knew I wasn't going to Buffalo because I don't even run the system they run, but they drafted me anyway. And he was here for Rex. Then McDermott had him, and he left for greener pastures, bigger money, and then came back. But because he fit. But you see what McDermott wanted to do. McDermott wanted that Greg Rousseau kind of player, which was what Shaq Lawson was. And at this point, he's a backup at a cheap price. You at the time they didn't want to give that kind of money to a defensive end that they gave to Shaq to Greg Rousseau. And I mean, people say, is Rousseau gonna somehow turn it around? What do you mean turn it around? Why do we keep saying, and people are going to call me negative because it's reverse negative, but they don't know how to process it. So why does everybody have to turn it around? Why does Keon Coleman have to turn it around? Why does Cole Bishop have to turn it around? Don't you understand that they're being drafted to play a style of football, a brand of football that they don't know how to play, that they never played in their career? This is not what got them to be. Cole Bishop maybe, but they got to let him rough it. They got to let him figure it out on the field. You can't figure it out by watching it. Keon Coleman said they changed the philosophy before when I got hurt, and I just didn't fit. So
even past that, they like Kincaid is probably the biggest example of all this. Like the idea of drafting Kincaid in the first round for Dorsey, and now he's stuck in a completely different offense that almost never used a tight end. Right? That's the type of offense that we're putting out on the field now, is one that doesn't really throw to tight ends that much. They do it because they've got a good one, a really good young good one, but the type of offenses that Kincaid needs to play in, the Bills don't run. This is to some degree, every offense is a timing offense, but when you're playing in an offense like Miami, where everything is anticipation of timing, you know what I mean? Everything is like, I'm throwing the ball to a spot. You should be on your way there and meet there at this particular point.
And that's why Stevie Johnson would have fit in his offense.
Exactly.
That's why, because he plays in calamity. He plays in that, in that role. And Cole Beasley, Hunter Renfrow would have been good. Those kind of players are the ones but you're talking about a guy who is still trying to learn the position.
Yes.
The guy who's still trying to figure out what he does. He's in the 12 and he can't block, which is fine, because guess what? He's Greg Olsen. When they brought him out, I said, he's never going to have his hand on the ground, because that's Greg Olsen. That's what they had in Carolina. That's what they're going to do here. They didn't do it. And so when I'm looking at him as a large slot receiver, it's never coming to fruition. And the time is ticking, because this is year 3. So what are we going to do after year 3? We're going to go to year 4 and say, you know what? We're not giving him a fifth year option because just he didn't pan out. Then he's going to go to a team like you said with Miami, even though Miami's not going to, because they're not going to have Mike McDaniel and Tua. Well, Tua will probably be there, but lost.
Right.
But a system like that where Dalton Kincaid can do that 1, 2, 3 pivot turn. I'm here, as opposed to let me just flow. This offense with Josh Allen, if it's not a flowing offense with Josh Allen, it's not a good offense. And that's the problem, and that's why I said Keon Coleman is that guy. That's why every time you see a big play from Josh Allen, it's usually number 10 on the other end. It's usually Shakir or James Cook or somebody like that. But there's a reason why. And I was talking to Dorothy earlier about Mafia Sports Report is in the building. Spin's there too.
I'm gonna try something. I want to see what people think about this. So I just clicked the button now for that comes up in the corner there, pretty small, but that's kind of cool. So now the comments are gonna show on our screen there.
I'm like, you guys suck. See, I said it. No, but no. I mean, I was talking to Dorothy earlier about this, and people that don't know who Dorothy is, you haven't looked at the comments before, in the previous shows, because she's live action in there. And we were talking about Kincaid and why is the disconnect? Why is he a bust? Why is it that because I think, this is what it was. There's a picture of Spencer Brown, Tommy Doyle, and whoever else is golfing. Kincaid was there, but it was supposedly yesterday. Everybody's like, well, who would go to the wedding? Did they not get invited? I mean, it just tells you, and this is what I did. I don't know if you saw what I said, but it tells you that Josh Allen and Kincaid are not as close as you think they are.
Right.
And it's not to say they hate each other, but they don't have that relationship. And when you're supposed to be the top pass catcher, when you're supposed to be whatever, you need to have that relationship. And that tells me they're not working in off season. That tells me that Kincaid doesn't know how Josh's ball rotates. He doesn't know, Josh doesn't know where Kincaid likes to catch the ball. He doesn't know what, all these kind of things. Does he like it high? It's like the stuff they talk about. They don't have it mapped out. It's not ironed out. And we're in year 3. So we're still trying to figure this out. And they run extra reps after practice. Josh will do it.
Yeah.
So we know that. So if he's not there yet, which we've seen over and over and over again, everybody throw a better ball. No, you don't throw it. That's his ball.
Right.
And Kincaid, catch the freaking ball. He never did. So why is it that we expect? See, that's like Shaquille O'Neal missing a free throw with 0.01 seconds left on the clock. Make the free. He never did.
Right.
So how can you expect him to do it when you never do?
Right.
He's valuable in other places. That man could have easily had 70 catches. He could have easily split receptions with Shakir. He could have easily. We don't have to have this conversation, except the fact that Got to run down the seam, something he doesn't do. He's got to flow, something he don't know how to do. Something he's going to learn when he goes somewhere else. And we got to say, why didn't he do it here? Because you didn't let him. Because you didn't work with him. You didn't mold him. You drafted him in the first round, thought he was a finished product. No, you drafted him on potential. So work it out.
This is the second time that the Buffalo Bills have done this at the tight end position. I mean, think about Dawson Knox coming in here. He wasn't a receiving tight end, as you pointed out before. He's a blocker.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, he didn't put up nearly the kind of numbers that got him the contract that he has now in college.
Right.
Like that production was like, it had to go to him because there was nobody else to throw to aside from Steph Diggs on the field.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So at that point, like Dawson Knox had to step up. Here's the other part of this. Realistically, I think it was coached into Josh to get the ball to Knox more and more and more because they wanted to A, give him an opportunity to show whether or not he could handle it, and B, help him out because the team liked him. We want to keep this guy around. We got to be able to justify his contract. Oh, look at the numbers he put up. We got to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that the team does for guys that they like, not players, guys that they like. If they like the man, they'll go out of their way to keep the man, as long as the man is willing to, take whatever the team wants to give him. Right. So this idea of the tight end having this expectation to blow up and turn into a weapon for the Bills, like they just have not built that into their offense at all the entire time that Sean has been here. And we've been crying for a good tight end when we've seen all these other guys in the league do it for decades now. Like that used to be a cheat code. Now everything is going back to the running back.
Yeah.
And here we are again talking about whether or not we should pay Cook.
Yep.
It's all over the news. He's not at OTAs, all this other, but like all of this stuff really comes down. It funnels down into the reason I made the thumbnail in the first place. We're here, so I'll ask you this.
In the stone. Okay.
Do you think the Bills are missing the wave or missing an opportunity to be a part of the wave? And when I say wave, here's what I mean. Running backs are on the rise in value. We've seen that in the draft now, the last this year and last year. We've seen that in free agency, and some of the rookie contracts that these running backs are getting are crazy, right? Kyron Williams is another guy that's about to be paid. He's about to get the bag. So when I say wave, I mean this next cycle in the NFL of bigger offensive lines, running backs coming in and having bigger roles in offenses, teams choosing to run the ball more than usual against smaller pass defense oriented defenses. Like that's the new wave that has started and basically taken effect, I would say, in its fullness last year when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, right? Do you think the Bills are missing it now, or do you think that it's some sort of, wise choice to not follow what everybody else is doing?
No, I mean, I think that solely that's determined by what I always say. What's your identity? If you had Dayball, yeah, James Cook, he's not as valuable. But what did we see that Dorsey did? What did we see, that Brady's done? They run the ball more. And everybody says it's known that they utilize a run more than they did before with Dayball, before with, when Josh Allen was in his infancy. They rely on the run game now. So you can't just say throw anybody out there and do it. And Tommy, no, I'm not just gonna throw one name in there, but you know what I mean. But they rely on this other facet. It's not all on JA-17. It's not all. I mean, and if people keep saying that, they're gonna keep doing that, and then we're gonna keep getting the same result. Try something else.
Exactly.
We got a 3-headed monster right now, at least for now. If you really don't care, swap out James Cook and say Darrington Evans. You're in there. Enjoy yourself. He's never been. I mean, he was Tennessee. He played a couple games for Tennessee.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Are you ready to say Ray Davis, bust a move?
Right.
Are you ready to say Ty Johnson, you're up? No, because we run more. And I can tell you right now, if you look at the stats, the run, Cook's done a lot with not less, but he's got way less yards before contact than Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. So that's an indictment on the offensive line. People talk about the offensive line is the reason why. Then why is he get hit far less time than they do?
Yep.
And I mean, it's a credit to his vision. It's a credit to this, but that makes the offense run. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't play in the last 2 minutes. In the 2-minute drill, everybody's like, well, what? Pass blocking. Do we have to do this again?
Right.
Running backs don't. I filtered down PFF, not their grading system. I filtered down the stats for running backs. There's only 6 running backs that block 50% of the max snaps by a running back in the league. So we'll say, just to make it easy, what that's saying is if the top running back had 600 snaps in the season last year, nobody under 300 even qualifies. Only 6 running backs, and I'd say maybe 3 of them I've actually heard of.
Wow, so none of those guys are in the top.
Oh, 50. No, not Saquon. Not, and the thing is, if you look at their blocking stats, and the ranking of PFF, now I'm going to go jaded. PFF has them below average. Everybody that's good is below average. I think Derrick Henry's like, he's ranked out at like 19th, and they're ranking or whatever the case may be. Saquon lower, James Cook obviously lower than that. But the fact is, if you're talking about guys that do it all and this, no, they don't.
Right.
They don't. But
nobody actually does it all.
They don't, and people are being told that they do. And I'm not. This is not me saying James Cook has to stay on the Bills team, but stop making that be your barometer.
There you go.
Let the next guy breathe. Let him do what he does. Let him fit in his own bubble, not the bubble that you created for what a running back is supposed to do based on some antiquated system that doesn't even matter anymore.
Right. I'll let you answer this one. MW says, what's going on? MW says, whatever happened to the third guy?
The third guy is in, who's that?
I just saw him. At the school. They had the kids had a singing show. Like they did like a bunch of choir songs and stuff like that. Like updated songs, but they did like the school version of them, whatever. But his son and my daughter.
Got you. I'm like the third guy. I just said Darrington Evans.
No,
I'm like Darrington Evans.
Talking about Mac. But yeah, I just saw him last week, I think it was. Yeah, he doing good. He working hard, man.
We gonna say again, hard. He's in school.
Yeah,
I just saw him at my other job. He flew in, so that means he's traveling for his job. He's getting his thing together, man. That's really the long and short of it. And I can tell you, over and over again, I will let it be known. It had nothing to do with what happened on the last show he was on. He was already supposed to. That was his last show anyway. So for people that say that no, he didn't disappear. We knew, and we were just counting down the time until he had to go do his thing. Yeah, his wife is on his wife is on his neck. Basically, she said, "You got to chill." He got four young, well, two older boys and 2 young girls.
Oh,
he got a boatload. Oh. And he can't be leaving her at home by herself with those kids all the time. So he got to do what he do.
Man got 4.
I got 1.
He got 4.
4 of them.
You got 3.
I mean, I kind of got 2 because you grown. Like you 21, bro. Like, come on, man.
He almost 22.
Yeah, 22 in 2 months.
We ain't forget.
Yeah. You get up there now.
Right?
Yeah. I thought I saw gray hair when I was cutting your hair last time.
Ooh, you stressed.
I'm stressing you. I'm you.
He's stressed out.
Oh my goodness.
But no, it's all love. Trust me. Ain't nothing but that. We're still love. Friends off of here. So that's what that's all about.
Mafia Sports Report said Boats and Holes, great song. I don't even know where y'all got that from, but Steph know exactly what y'all talking about.
Oh, wait. McBean always misses the waiver late. Elite teams value their playmaking running back, but our propaganda is selling hard that Cook isn't worth it. Like he's a common scrub like Singletary. Arguments are lazy. Dang.
Sheesh. I was just getting into it with Tommy before the show about Singletary too.
Really?
Yeah, man. He's he is standing firm on Singletary's a good running back. I was like, and he was kind of pulling my chain at this point, but he was like, Cook's not even a top 15 runner. I'm like, bro, name 7 running backs better than James Cook right now.
He's like, Singletary.
That's right.
Because he runs hot fire.
Oh my gosh. So yeah. So I mean,
I have to know what his love for Singletary. I have to know, and I'm gonna watch the show. Is it tonight?
I think he's got like an autographed jersey or something from him or something like that. What you got, Tommy? What is it that he autographed for you?
I mean, I respect the love, but I mean, wow.
You did not name a lot, Tommy. Stop it. You did not name. You named what? One person, if I'm not mistaken.
He said Cookie Gilchrist, Jerome Bettis. He said Marshall Fox, definitely somewhere.
I got the receipts.
He's got a FAU mini helmet.
There you go. Okay,
yeah, Sven said Cook's not top 5, but he's top 10. Yeah, I top 8, I'd say. Yeah,
absolutely.
He's got to be about 8.
But here's the thing, Kyron Williams, and this is to me, this is one of the biggest points on why Cook is on the value of Cook. I'll say. Kyron Williams had over 80% snap share last year for the Rams. What was Cook's snap share? What was his percentage?
44.
It's like 44. So he had just about half of the snap share that Kyron Williams had and put up more production than Kyron Williams did. He had more touchdowns for sure. I don't know if he had more yards, but he for sure had more touchdowns. And this is a guy that we're saying doesn't have enough value to be paid like a top 10 running back. He is a top 10 running back.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, that's the thing. And in the system that he runs with the quarterback he's with and with the wide receivers. Because the thing people don't realize is if you had wide receivers that field stretch, guess what? The box is lightened up. You got to worry about them. Why do you think? I mean, Derrick Henry is established, but come on, let's face it. He's 30 years old and he's still running for 2,000 yards. Why? Because Lamar Jackson is there and people have to know where he is at all times. That's
right.
You know, the Bills have the same luxury with a much younger, faster running back in James Cook. Much shiftier, still sees the holes. You know, obviously he's not as strong, he's not as big, but that's where the book ends. So if you utilize it the way Brady was utilizing it at the clip, the productivity is through the roof because that means you don't have to run them at volume. You know, everybody says, well, they ran him to death to get the 1,000 yards. Yeah, but guess what? He still only had 208 carries or something like that last year. And he had 16 touchdowns. 16 touchdowns. So he'll turn merge. Here's the problem I have with Cook. Nothing. Pay him.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't want to turn this into a chain.
Yeah, he said A-Chain is better because he's just as fast and he's shiftier and he's better in the passing game.
A-Chain. Okay. I mean, they used him in the passing game more. That's the thing. You got to realize, too. They didn't use
Chuba
Cook.
Hubbard is not better than Cooks. Please stop.
He's not.
Irving is definitely not better than Cook. If anything, Irvin is like a broke down version of Cook. And who's Bijan Robinson? Bruh, what were Bijan's numbers? I watched the games. Yeah. He wasn't that great.
No, yeah. I mean, you if you look at the stats, if you look, you look at highlights, of course, highlights are gonna look great, and we've seen Cook, catch the ball and get out of bounds and not get a yard. We've seen that, but we watch it.
Is that real?
I'd be cool.
Bill's looking into trade for Pitts from Atlanta. Why? So they can treat him like they treat Kincaid and Knox and not throw it to him? Atlanta's already doing that.
Right. Yeah, Irving's not better. I mean, I'd say they're about even at worst. But you got to think about it. Like I just said, if you have Mike Evans, we don't have anything like that. We don't have, the luxury of letting him be an afterthought. Irving was a rookie. Nobody cared about him. So the fact that better O-line, not sure how Tampa Bay.
It's not good anymore. It was pretty good a couple of years ago, but they were in shambles last year.
Yeah, so let's do this. You can keep talking about I'm going to pull something up, but you can keep talking about it.
So yeah, I mean, the reason I brought this up is the idea is the NFL is cyclical in nature, right? There's always somebody looking for an edge in order to get themselves, ahead of the rest of the crowd, right? So this wave of running backs coming in, when you look at the last 4 Super Bowl winners, right? We're not even going to count the teams that made the Super Bowl. When you look at the last 4 Super Bowl winners, 2 of them were the Chiefs, right? The other 2, the Rams and the Eagles, both with top 10 running backs winning the Super Bowl, right? If you want to look at just the teams that made the Super Bowl, now the reason I kind of devalue the Chiefs' position in this conversation is you got Mahomes and Andy Reid. And same thing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You got Bruce Arians and you got Tom Brady. When you got like the baby goat and the goat on your team, like I'm sorry, like that with the coaches they had, because to me, Bruce Arians was a big part of helping Tom Brady win. When you have those coach and quarterback combinations, you really don't need a running back that bad, right? But when you look at Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, he's a good quarterback, but he's not Josh Allen, he's not Tom Brady, he's not Patrick Mahomes. He needs a guy, right? You look at Matt Stafford, his major weakness with the Rams, he can't run. He's not a mobile dude, so he needs a strong run game. Get him that guy. Now, the reason I think the Buffalo Bills need a guy like that is because you have such a deficiency in crunch time in the playoffs with your head coach's decision-making. And that's not to say that the head coach is bad, but he's just not, or maybe has not yet, that's for you, Laura, has not yet graduated to the level of being able to make decisions well enough in those crunch time moments to be able to compensate for whatever Josh Allen is missing or whatever Josh Allen doesn't have on the field. As of right now, currently constructed, the Bills with this everybody eats mantra, right? It seems as though the only person that's really eating aside from Josh is Cook. And if you got a guy that's eating the way that Cook did last year in an offense designed to not really let any one particular person eat, and he does it anyway, on top of getting a 44% snap share, like it really doesn't, you know, that's like me entering into a competition, right? And in this competition, let's just say we're shooting rifles, right? And everybody else gets 10 bullets. I only get 4, right? Now, there's an opportunity for me to still score more points than everybody else by hitting further targets than everybody else. So I go ahead, I end up scoring more than everybody else with those 4 bullets, right? And people look at me and say, oh, you ain't that great. You didn't hit as many targets as everybody else did. You know, they all hit 10 targets. You only hit 4. Wait a second. I still scored more than them, didn't I? Oh, well, you only did that for one season. I can't win more than one Super Bowl in a year, can I?
Well, I can say we can do it like this, and this is not the park on it. Bijan Robinson against stack boxes was the second lowest stack boxes in the whole league, second lowest. James Cook was 14th against stack boxes. He had 21% of his rushes against stack boxes. Bijan Robinson 12. James Cook was 8. What was it? 0.8. Yeah, 0.8 yards per attempt over expected to Bijan Robinson's 0.6. Under center, I'm not sure if that really matters, but I can tell you James Cook was, Bijan Robinson was 24th, 24.7% of his carries came from quarterback under center to James Cook's 57.5. So Aaron Jones was higher. Jalen Warren was higher. Travis Etienne was higher. Jahmyr Gibbs was higher, and Bucky Irvin was higher. Kyron Williams was higher, but Kyron Williams' numbers weren't even close to where Cooks and Bijan Robinson were in next-gen stats. So we're not going to go too far into the next-gen stats, but like I said, he's not. It's not like he's head and shoulders better. This is a good area to be in. Bijan Robinson was a first-round draft pick.
Yep.
You know, and Bucky Irvin was a beast. He is a beast. He's going to be a beast. But guess what? These numbers they relegate the same thing. So if James Cook can't get 15, they can't get 15 either when their contracts come up, or 16 or 17, whatever it is. So let's have the same energy when they come up, you know, and let's see how their teams respect them. You know, and I was watching. I don't know if you saw, there was an interview with James Cook in what was it called? I have it, but I forgot what it was called. Here it is.
With that
Stories
girl?
Untold.
Yeah.
Kim, it was. I saw it. He said, you know, it was funny. They asked him about when he got drafted to come to Buffalo, and he said, "I didn't have my phone. I was doing my own thing. I was chilling." And they're like, "What do you mean?" He was like, The number said Nashville. I didn't have the phone. Somebody over there had it. They had to call back." He said, "I okay, so all right, I'm gonna address that in a moment, Tommy." He said, he got to Buffalo. He said it was a crazy draft party. He wasn't mad. He was trying to figure out what was going on. He wasn't in the mode to take the phone call because his mind wasn't on it. I guess he didn't think it was gonna go that high. But she asked him how Buffalo was. He said it's a vibe. Buffalo was a vibe. He likes the fans. He likes this. He likes that. So why don't we spend that?
Yeah.
As opposed to spending, he's holding out. He's a diva. He's this. He's that. This
point.
interview wasn't before he did the holdout. This interview was he's about to play some poker. And I think they put it on their channel, whatever it is, 2 days ago. So this is very recent, within the last week or two. So why don't we just not? And to Tommy's point, what do you say? I want to.
He said, don't pay the running back after their rookie deal.
Right. So where do they go? Where do they go? If you don't pay the running back, you're gonna get a running back. You're gonna draft one every year.
He thinks James will be just like Dalvin, bouncing around the teams trying to find a new home.
Yeah, but you got to sign a running back after his rookie year, right? Might not be yours, but you're gonna get somebody else's trash.
I mean, they did. They signed Ty Johnson
to a very low contract, and is he a starter?
I mean, Josh Allen seems to think that, and I'm joking when I say seems to think that Ty Johnson is the best third down running back in football right now.
Hey,
look, to me, that's just him hyping his boy up. But regardless,
which is hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
You know why it's hilarious? Because I ran some numbers because I didn't know where this conversation was going to go. And you know that we're the worst. We have the worst completion percentage on 3rd and 10. The worst completion percentage, 42%.
Yeah, you know why?
Josh Allen.
Who?
No, not saying that. That's not why. But you said it when I was thinking. I already had my mouth formed to say Josh Allen.
Oh, no. I'm thinking about what you just said, the stat that you just gave, and I'm thinking in my head like, well, I mean, who's the guy you go to on 3rd down?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, who is the offense designed to go to at that point? Who's the number that gets called most consistently? And if it's nobody, and you're just looking for the open guy, guess what? I find myself continuing to say this with this everybody eats mantra. Defenses will tell you who your best receiver and best tight end and they'll tell you who your best weapons are.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever they feel can hurt them, they'll take them away. So when you get into a game and you see a team starting to focus on, they're taking away the seam. Okay, that means they think you're going to hurt them with those tight ends. Probably shouldn't try and force it to them. Go to the outside. Oh, we're not that strong on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, it looks like they took away your best option then if that's the case.
Yeah. And
if that's the case, does everybody eats really work? It can't. It isn't. It hasn't.
Yeah, I was going to say, in terms of rushing, 3rd and 10, we're 15th in the league. Or 16th in the league, I'm sorry. 3rd, and this is rushing only. 3rd and, 7 through 9? We are 23rd in rushing. If you're looking at 3rd and 4 through 6, we are 10th. If you're looking at rushing, where are we at? 3rd and 1 through 3rd, we are 21st. So how does that make you a great rushing 3rd down team? How does that make Ty Johnson effective over Ray Davis or James Cook? How does that make it work? Because he's receiving. That's not what he's supposed to do, I didn't think. I thought receivers receive. I thought that's what they were paid to do.
It's kind of in their job description.
Kind of in their job description.
Right.
And that's the thing. See, people, like you said, Josh Allen thinks Ty Johnson's the best 3rd down. And Spence said, I'll surrender my take on Cook not being in on the 2-minute drill because of his blocking. He's not in because Johnson's a better receiving back. So what? We still suck on 3rd down. So what does that tell you? That stat matters not at that point. Running backs catches pass too. So why are we so bad on 3rd down?
What's your justification? Not everyone's snagged.
Everyone's
Really? What's your justification for everyone eats work last year? Like what are you saying? What's the threshold that was crossed that ended up being, oh yeah, it worked? Like, I need you to explain that to me, because what we saw the Bengals do last year, I mean, everybody ate on that team. Running backs, like whoever was called upon, ended up eating all through that season. Their quarterback threw for 4,400 yards. Everybody got a shot, right? You look at the Texans the year before. Everybody was getting the ball. Everybody, like they had 2 receivers over 1,000 yards last year, if I'm not mistaken. I could be very wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure they were throwing the ball around the yard enough to get close if they didn't hit it. You look at who else this year? I mean, the Lions. Look at the Lions numbers. Go look at their stats and tell me everybody didn't eat on that offense. They were scoring crazy points. So again, all of this really comes down to, for me, who won the Super Bowl? Because if you look at who won the Super Bowl, it was the Eagles. And literally every position on that team, offense and defense, ate in the Super Bowl. Tell me I'm wrong. Somebody tell me that wasn't everybody eats. Like, this idea that you're going to have 5 receivers and the defense doesn't know who to cover. They know who to cover.
Right.
They're not, if a defense doesn't have to focus on one guy that they're scared to death is going to kill them, and they don't have to focus on that one guy that's keeping your coordinator up at night, guess what? They'll guard your scheme.
You know what's funny though? To Spen's point, I was looking while you were talking.
Yeah.
If you look at James Cook versus Ty Johnson's receiving, James Cook had 28 receptions, Ty Johnson 41. James Cook had 2 receptions per game that he played in versus Ty Johnson's 1. James Cook had 16.1 yards a game to Ty Johnson's 16.7. James Cook actually caught 84.2% of his passes, where Ty Johnson caught 72%. So James Cook can't catch. How does that work? How does that work?
Right.
Right. I mean, how does this work? You're talking about I just don't understand the narratives as they're being built. I don't get it. You know, why are we building narratives against our own guys? And you're doing a disservice to the guys that play for the Bills right now. You know, because everybody's not good at everything, and we've seen that. We know certain offensive linemen can't run block, some can't pass block, some are middling. We know James Cook had a history of drops years ago. He had 2 drops last year. We know he cleaned that up. We know that Ray Davis is more of a bruising back. We know this. But guess what? That's why you have diversity.
Right. Because
diversity is how you build your playbook, how you sit. There's something called on Madden called situational subs.
Mm-hmm.
Not when you slide it down with injury or fatigue. Not that. It's when you change based on the package. Remember that?
Yep.
People used to do that. And that's what this team has built to do in the running back room, in the defensive line room. You have scenario or situational guys, but they neutered all that by trying to make everybody ambiguous.
Right.
So we need to get back to saying, James, you know, this is what you know. Put him in the slot. Take Kincaid off the field when you're in a 3rd and 10. Put him in the slot. Make a linebacker cover him.
Put Rousseau next to Sanders and let them both rush.
Let them both rush. You know, put Dorian behind them, because if that run gets through, you know he's gonna clean it up. This is not chess. It's just checkers. It's simple stuff. Yeah. You know, but we got to get past and McDermott. You know, I don't know if you saw the shout interview he did with Matt Perino. It was actually a good listen. I'm telling you, this is why I don't watch them, because sometimes people do and say things. You be like, yo, I don't want to bang with this dude, but cool. All right, good on you, brother. You know, and basically what he said was, they asked, what was it? Oh, it was a question that was asked, and I said that is an A+ question. But basically he was asked, where to go? He's okay. Okay. He said a lot of teams that do not value basically. Okay, this is how it started. They asked him about talent, basically talent versus the locker room culture and the value. And McDermott said a lot of people, a lot of teams, they value talent and they don't care nothing about the culture. McDermott said this. He said, but for us, you got to take the whole player. You got to take the whole person. You got to weight it. His culture, his talent. He said, how do you say? He said he thinks that there are a lot of guys in the locker room who could have the MVP chain. A lot of guys in our locker room have MVP chain. He specifically mentioned Dawson Knox and Deion Dawkins. Now, the reason why he said that is this. He said players who had a genuine and unique ability to connect the team. I knew he was going to say that. The glue guys. But see that I like that. But this is why I don't like that.
Okay.
Because if you have these glue guys, like I've been screaming forever, where's our Pickens? If you got the glue, these are the guys that are the liaison between being stupid and doing the right thing on the field. These are the guys that come here, man. And they know it. And they know that people are gonna respect them. Come here, man. Let me tell you something. Do that again, you're gonna get a penalty. You get one more personal foul, you're out. That's what they do. That's what the glue guy does. And if they're the MVP of your team, that's their job.
But you know what though? Those guys, there's a reason those guys don't exist here to that degree. Like Deion Dawkins, Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox even said himself, he's more of a quiet leader. He likes to lead by example. You know, he might talk to a guy in private, you know, quietly or whatever. But the kind of guys that you're talking about, like the Ray Lewises and the London Fletchers and you know what I mean? Like those type of guys that like are vocal and they do it with their play on the field. Those guys oftentimes have more leverage on the team than what Sean McDermott would want. Right. I was listening to Mike Florio and Steve, your boy
Sims.
Chris Sims on there. I was listening to their podcast and they even mentioned, like, in this particular situation, James Cook has a little bit more leverage than you know some other running backs in their situations, because not only is he fresh off 2,000-yard seasons and leading the league in total touchdowns, but he's entering into the last year of his contract with not a lot of tread from college, not even a lot of tread from the league. So he's probably chomping at the bit to get into free agency with everything that he has with him. Most running backs at his age need the team more than the team needs the running back. Cook is like, yo, somebody just need to let me in.
Right.
Somebody give me a contract and I'll approve it.
Yeah, and to the point, somebody said it's on a little beta, so I really don't know who said it. I think it was Sal. Maybe he said, "Oh, there it is." Maybe not. Anyway, the point still stands.
I need Sal to show me ID that he's not Sal Capaccio.
It might be
coming off.
No, he didn't say lick it. He got to start with lick it.
Yeah,
lick it, guys.
Lick it.
Look it, guys. Not lick it. Look it, guys. Retract your almost pause. Anyway, he said
wins determined everyone eats. Wins? Okay, what about AFC Championship wins?
Well, I guess we got to get to that. I don't know. But
no, what were you saying?
Yeah, he said whoever said
further down?
I'm not sure, because it was in the beta. So I saw it by your face before. So I don't know when it came up. But anyway,
let's go all the way down.
The fact is this. He said you want to pay
Sal is absolutely Capaccio.
Basically, he said you guys want to pay Cook money than Derrick Henry. I want to play poker with you guys. He's not. That wouldn't make more money than Derrick Henry. That really wouldn't, because you got to figure Derrick Henry's average 15 is guaranteed signing is 24. We're giving him close at 25 years old. We're giving him 11 and a half at 25 years old. To Derrick Henry's what, 30?
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing here? You're paying Derrick Henry on a decline. That's a decline. He might have the same cap hit, but he's 30.
Yeah.
We're talking about a guy who has plenty of tread on his tire, a guy who has shown that he's the second best threat on his team, a guy that we've seen make plays when plays are not to be made. That's evident by the expected yards over carries, the expected yards over expectation, and James Cook is somebody that I didn't want to spend the whole show on again. We're going to change the show name to the Post Podium Cook.
Might as well, right? At least until he gets a contract.
Evidently, or it's gone, because we can't get off of this. But Reeves Tea is owned by James Cook.
So check this out. No, it's definitely not. He pulling.
He knows. He knows.
Taking shots now. But so real quick, Sal Capaccio messed up this morning.
Yeah, what was that about?
He was talking about the cap percentages of the top five players on the team. Right?
Okay, I have it here. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. You want to
I
give
really
us
do
that?
have it, but
So give us the top five.
Was it based on 2025 or no?
Yes.
Okay, 2025, 7.4%. Christian McCaffrey, 7.3.
No. On the team, on the Bills.
Oh, on the Bills. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Yep.
Top 5 cap hits. Josh Allen.
I'll tell you to stop when you hit the name.
Okay, Josh Allen at 19.7.
Okay.
Deion Dawkins at 7.8.
Okay.
Ed Oliver at 7.5.
Okay.
Rousseau at 7.1.
Okay.
Spencer Brown at 7.0.
Oh, that's for this year.
25.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, so Christian Benford 6.1.
Okay.
Khalil Shakir 4.7.
Okay.
Joey Bosa 4.5.
Okay.
Tyron Johnson 4.4.
Keep going.
Dawson Knox 3.8.
Stop.
Okay.
So, what is Dawson Knox's cap hit this season?
Dawson Knox cap hit. Let me scroll back up because I was going to say, since we're talking about it, James Cook is like 2.1. But Dawson Knox's cap hit for this season is 14.5.
14.5 for a player that catches 2 passes a game. 14.5 and 3.8% of the cap. So Dawson Knox is basically making $15 million to catch 2 passes a game and block.
Mm-hmm.
Last I checked, a tight end needed to be able to block, run routes, and catch the ball. Like, those are all 3 facets of the tight end's game that get counted towards whether or not the tight end is good or bad, right? How in the world are the Bills justifying paying $14.5 million for a guy that catches 2 passes a game, but James Cook at, you said 2.1%?
Yeah, I was going to go there. It's 2 point something. Let me just go find it real quick. Go
Okay.
ahead. Make
So
your point,
James Cook at the cap percentage that he's at now, with the production that he's put up, which is more than what he was supposed to put up. Like, according to his rookie contract, he had an ability to make $5 million this year, but he wasn't guaranteed $5 million this year. That only came when he performed to a certain level. Well, he hit that level, right? So
no, it's 0.7%.
0.7? 0.7. So you got Dawson Knox making $14.5 million, catching 2 passes a game and blocking. And you got Cook over here putting up 16 touchdowns, 16 all-purpose touchdowns, and he's only making 0.7% of the salary cap.
Yes.
Tell me where the lie is.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I can't be wrong on that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Hill Turner said Knox had a bad contract, but it's only bad right now. It wasn't bad when it was first signed. We kind of just have to live with it because we kicked the can down the road. He's done it. But that's not fair to Knox. That's not fair to Knox. That's not what we're doing. That's not what I'm doing anyway. What it is with Dawson Knox is they don't use him to what he can do. Again, everything you said is what Dawson Knox can do. He showed you he can catch. Mm-hmm. He showed you he can block. He showed you he can run routes. Evident by the fact you drafted the guy, he worked with the guy, and he still runs down the seam better than Kincaid.
Yes, he does.
So use him.
Yeah.
But now we got Kel talking about Kyle Pitts, and Kyle Pitts is about to come up on a contract.
I think that was Billy D.
Oh, Billy, I'm sorry. Billy D, yes, I want to give you credit.
What's going on, Papa?
But yeah, I mean, okay. We saw you at 1 a.m. We were scared. We thought you didn't go to sleep.
Right.
I was hoping. I was afraid. But yeah, when you're talking about a salary cap, we're even like Joe Marino even said, he had to say, I don't know if you don't listen to Locked On, but he said this. Marino, Podfather. He said the Bills they actually don't use their running backs to block.
Kind of makes you wonder why blocking is even part of the conversation.
And that's why I brought him up, because he's the one that started that. He's got a block. He's got.
Oh, Marino was the one that started that?
He's the one that's been saying it. The running back's got a block. Just that third. He's got Talking Buffalo saying you got a block. You got this guy saying you got a block. But the Bills actually don't even block, because he ran the numbers. He said, you know what? They don't even register in the top 20%. There's not.
Wow.
There's only James Cook has been in for top 20% of blocking snaps, and that's what I'm talking about. Jungle, yeah, pass protection block.
Wait,
It's not.
Jungle. I don't think they realize what they just did.
Oh,
I don't think Jungle G's realized what they just did. So you entered into the chat. I'm sorry. You are now part of the family. Tell them, folk. Tell them, chat. There ain't no getting out after this. You might as well grab a plate, sit on down, and relax for the rest of your life because it is chat in, blood out. That's how it works.
That's it.
That's how it works.
You cannot slander if you don't subscribe.
Exactly. Exactly. And I don't know if you heard, but you got to go to our page down there. Because if we don't show up on the network and you can't find us, I'm telling you, you missed this show on Tuesday.
Yeah,
you missed the show on Tuesday. I had a ball. We had a good time. I'm telling you.
Yep.
People in the chat, tell them you were there. You had fun, right? Y'all had fun. So yeah, even Mafia said true talk. I think he's talking about Kyle Pitts, but it was right on time. So I'm going to take that true talk. I don't care, Tommy. You ruined it.
Heel Turn says, I agree that Knox isn't being used correctly. He was clutch when he was TE1. Not that he's been downgraded to another role. It doesn't fit, and the salary number sticks out more.
Yep.
See, this is the thing. Dawson Knox gave you 2 energizing plays a game back when the team was relying on him more. He was putting somebody's face in the ground, or he was running through somebody that galvanized the team.
Angry.
Like it energized everybody.
He was running angry.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And we've taken that out of his contribution to the team, so to speak, to being this quiet, humble, soft leader in the locker room that never gets anybody riled up.
He put that helmet on. It's a different story.
Right. Like to me, if I'm a coach, I don't ever want to lose a player's ability to contribute that on the field. Like if you make a play that's got the whole sideline, running down and jumping and all that kind of stuff, we need to get it to him again.
Yeah.
Because now it's going to make the rest of my team want to run through a wall.
And you know what I just thought about? Remember when we first got Knox? He actually had a jet sweep. He had a jet sweep to the tight end.
Wow.
We have not seen that since. One time. And he got 9 yards on it.
Dang.
He's an athlete, but people forget that. And I don't, Roy, don't check me. I'm trying to make a point here. He's not Scott Chandler. Hell, he's not even Metzelaars. Metzelaars really didn't move after the catch, but back then nobody really did.
Yeah.
That's why Bavaro was like this anomaly, like, oh, how do you stop this guy? Because he actually can run too. But, they usually catch it and go down, or catch it and they get hit right away and they don't have a move. But this guy does. This guy has a 4 or 5. Who, if when you go to the carnival and they say, I'll guess your weight, I'll guess your height. Nobody can guess my weight because I don't look like it, I guess. But the thing is, when you see Dawson Knox, nobody guesses his 40 time. What is it? I'll let it read for a minute. Tell me what his 40 time is. Don't look it up.
Wait, who? Kincaid?
No, Knox.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's, can I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's like 4.52 or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mafia Sports, probably 4 or 5. Yes. And you would never know that because guess what? He's labeled as this hulking dude. He's Mafia right the first time. This hulking guy. That's all he does is block. He can't move.
Josh Palmer ran a 4.5, and he's getting paid like a number 1 receiver right now.
Mm-hmm. And Dawson Knox, his first year, he had a case of the dropsies. He had the dropsies, then he cleaned it up and he made plays. He was the kind of guy that made the hard catches, but he never made the easy. And was like, what?
Yeah.
He'd go over and moss somebody, but they put it right in his hands and go like, what was that?
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing. Is it really even injuries? Like,
no, not anymore. It's not.
Yeah, in the beginning, yeah.
I wanted to get to
futuristic Jeremy Shockey.
yeah, that's what he was.
I'll take it.
But they're saying Kincaid is soft. I mean,
finesse.
Yeah, here's the thing. For him to just be learning the position, he's first of all, he's in the wrong position to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say the wrong position, I just mean the style of tight end he's being typecast as in this offense. He's not a 12 formation tight end at all. Never was.
Mm-hmm.
He is the Travis Kelce type of guy. He is the Antonio Gates type of guy. Like he's one of those dudes that you just tell to go out there and improvise and get open. Like he has the ability to run routes in such a way where he can get open if he's given the the ability to be creative in that sense. Like, that's the type of tight end that he can be for this offense. But Sean McDermott doesn't give players that much leeway to just be doing whatever they want on the field. That's not how it works here.
And it's funny, he addressed a lot. It was funny how the interview started with this, and I wrote it down because I thought it was hilarious. He said, Matt Patricia said, I'm glad to have you. Thank you for joining me. Blah 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 blah. And the first thing McDermott says is, thank you for having me. He's like, yeah, I love it because it gives me a chance to interface with the fans. Like, oh, now you're open. Now you're open. But the thing is, like, that's what I'm saying. When I watch interviews like that, that's the coach I want. But I needed to translate because he's smiling, he's loose, he's making jokes, he's not rigid, and he addresses the fact that he's rigid, that he used to be rigid, that when the hard knocks thing comes in, he said, what I'm worried about is having the cameras around and we can't be ourselves. We can't have those conversations that we have with each other. Like, you better find out how to use a phone.
Right.
Like,
right. You know what's really interesting? What's really interesting about that too is this hard knocks thing is really going to test the relationships with players that Sean has, because there isn't that same level of, I can yell at guys and I can dictate to guys. If he does that, he going to start looking a lot closer to that Tyler Dunn report than what he's propagating on Sal Capaccio's podcast. And he don't want that. He wants everybody to believe that he is anti Brandon Beane or how should I say this? Not anti Brandon Beane, but he's just the opposite of Brandon Beane in terms of his relationships with media, and he's this nice guy that anybody can walk up to and say hi and blah blah blah. I mean, I'm fine with him desiring that, but if you're gonna go and do hard knocks and you think you're gonna be able to micromanage the way you've micromanaged before and play some of the passive aggressive games that you've played before with players and stuff like that, and it not show up on Hard Knocks, HBO is going to do everything they can to catch everything they possibly can. Right. And guess what? This is an NFL thing. So it may not even be completely up to the Bills to veto whatever they want to veto.
And then Sean McDermott said that, and he said he doesn't have control over that. He said,
so
he's going to ask, can you not? But he said they can do whatever they want.
Exactly. So this is going to be a huge test for him and his relationships with the players, because he's not the type of coach that has a lot of, private conversations away from the facility with players.
Right.
Like that's in the books. It's documented. He doesn't have that kind of relationship with players. So everything is going to have to be in front of those cameras. Let's see who he turns out to be.
And I think I want to hit some of these comments because Roy, I told you, leave me alone. He said Chandler was good for the team. Remember where the team was at the time. Doesn't matter. I said, don't at me. I was trying to make a point. Dawson Knox is not Chandler. Jungle G's Bills saying dual tight end sets for Knox and Kincaid. Sounds fun. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's a hole they built themselves. They dug themselves in a hole. You got to use them. I mean, obviously Kincaid is not the better tight end right now. They're forcing him because they have to. He's the number one draft pick. Yep. Or do you play a $15 million tight end? Don't know. Everybody's got to eat. That's up to Brady to figure out. And that's not Brady's problem because Brady didn't want it. He just doesn't speak up.
How would you feel if the team went back to a 13 formation this year?
A 13?
I'm sorry, 11.
11, yeah. I think that.
He said a 13.
You almost made my head explode. That's bad. Like, Kyle Pitts is coming in for sure. But yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like, this goes into what McDermott said and what I attacked last show when he said we have to figure out what their path to the roster is. You go 13. What's Dawson Knox's path to the roster?
11, you mean?
Yes, you got me doing it.
I know.
11. What's his path to the roster? If he's going to be the de facto tight end one, then what's Kincaid's path to the roster?
Right. Would you? So I guess that's what I was trying to get to. Would you be comfortable with Kincaid just being a backup to Knox at that point?
Honestly, I would write the hot hand, and I think the hot hand is Knox. I do. Obviously, Knox is the higher paid of the two. Yeah. But I think his relationship with Josh Allen it is more valuable than anything else. It's not the number one draft pick slot because Kincaid has proven that he's not a bust to me. Whether he's a bust in Buffalo or not, he's not a bust. He's a good tight end. But Dawson Knox is good for Josh. And that's paramount. Everybody says 17 is going to put it on his shoulder, but he needs weapons.
Yeah.
And his weapons are 88, not 86. Right. His weapons should be Agent Zero. You know, his weapon should be Elijah Moore. And I'm telling you right now, I'm so tired of seeing these clips. They get me excited. I'm like, no, don't do it. Don't fall for this.
You gotta take the players, bro.
Dude. I'm like, you know, because they're like, this is what we're talking. Elijah Moore running routes on air. I'm like, okay, looks good. But everybody on him. Let me see it again. That was pretty crispy. That was real crispy.
It was against air, though.
I'm like, and I'm at work, and people are like, what the hell is he talking about? I'm in there behind glass. You see me.
That was pretty crispy, though.
That was crispy. They're like, yo, he's crazy. Don't go in there.
Right. Real quick, I just wanted to point this out. This is one of the things that I love about this show, and to me, this is like the essence of what we try to present here. First comment is from Jungle G. Says HBO going to try to spin some. Dog it, I missed it. HBO going to try to spin some to make it seem like a problem. But then on the other side of that, you got Steve coming in saying anything that helps to reveal McDermott and gets him fired is good with me. More cameras, more. Plant some coke if you need.
I think he's a Pepsi man himself, but you know. No, we know what you mean.
Yeah, it might be vanilla Coke he's talking about.
Right. Or pink lemonade Coke if you have Stephon Diggs. Before you put it in water.
Yeah, those are smelling salts. Right. Smelling salts.
Somebody said it was Dramamine. I'm like, oh, okay. I wouldn't look. I said, I ain't never seen no Dramamine look like that. No. I looked at all images. I'm like scrolling through the thing. I Googled. I said, nope, try again. That ain't it. Yo, heel turn said, man. If we roll out 13 formation, I eat my table in disgust. Yeah, save me some.
Look, if they paid Cook and they was just like, you know what, screw it, we going 13
like,
now.
I'm like,
that would be some real Sean McDermott stuff right there. Like, y'all force me to pay Cook? Fine, I'm gonna shove it down your throat now.
Post-podium podcast, you watch
this. Oh my god.
You gonna what?
Where's my button?
No.
Oh no, that ain't it.
There you go. There you
go. That's much better.
Now continue your sentence.
All is right in the world, huh?
Huh?
You said all is right in the world.
Yeah. The way he said it was like he been waiting for it the whole show.
I was.
He's like, come on, Key, screw up. Screw up, Key.
So somebody screw up already because this show can't go on, without an AO, man.
You want to hear something funny? I was gonna mess with Junie earlier because I thought that comment about Kincaid being soft was somebody saying Knox was soft. I was gonna be like, on the field, he rock hard though.
He's like, Junie, like,
What you mean? He what? I'm glad you ain't said that. That was also 2 pauses right there.
2 pauses?
Yeah, 2 pauses.
Dang, that I mean, 1 is fine, but if you start throwing 2, like that's
I saw
2's out there.
I saw a comment up there that said, you have to scroll up, but somebody said people forget that Knox was a Pro Bowler at one point in time, which is true. And that's what got him the contract. He had 9 touchdowns that season too.
Yep.
And then somebody else said, imagine Kincaid in Kansas City. Yep. Billy D. Yep. So see, that's the kind of thing he would fit in. Imagine him in Miami. That's where he would fit. He would fit in that 1-2 do-si-do kind of offense. That's his thing.
Yeah. Big Papa Bill says Palmer is going to be our number 1 receiver. He's a younger and cheaper version of Amari Cooper. I did say that when I did my review on Palmer. I do strongly believe that he is a younger and cheaper version of Amari Cooper. He to me, he jumps off the page with his route running ability. He looks faster on the field than 4.5 too, on top of that. And I think the 4.5 is kind of a misconception when you think about the fact that he's often running deep routes and often getting behind DBs.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think, both based off of the dollar amount that he's getting paid and his ability and his upside, he should be considered as one of those guys that needs to get a larger target share just off the bat. I think the Bills need to start the season going to him early and often in every game to establish him as a threat outside, which should then begin to open up things in the seam, which is what teams were focusing in on taking away all last season.
And yeah, I'm sorry. I heard everything you said. I just want to give it was Alton.
No,
Alton that said people forget about Knox being a Pro Bowl. And I want to put this up just because. Oh no, that's not it. Actually, no, this does work too. Yeah, I'm trying very hard. And Tommy, I took the preseason players the first season we did this show, and I forced it down the throats of the 11 people watching it. Yes, Junie, pause. Anyway, there you go.
Thank you.
And it was only 11 people watching that show, so nobody remembers it. But whatever. But I think it reigns true. If you really like watching that stand and build this thing on a helmet after not seeing it forever, everything's gonna look great to you. Everything's gonna be exciting to you. Everything's gonna magnify. And believe it or not, as negative as everybody thinks this show is, I get just like everybody. I just know how to contain it.
Mm-hmm.
I just know how to internalize it. I get excited, but you won't know it all the time because I'm trying to be objective. And this is in my own personal life as well. I have joy. Even T says, do you ever get excited about anything? I have.
In that same way. That's how he looks when he's excited.
I have. It's like James Cook when he's happy versus when he's mad. That's it. That's the difference. All you getting.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, that's what I wanted to show. Junie, there's your credit.
Double pause. I mean, you got 2 within the last 30 minutes. So
Appreciate it.
But yeah, no, Tommy, you are 100% right. I agree with you. I will not be fooled by the off season. I'm going to enjoy the bites, but I can tell you once they start the pads, once they start the preseason, that's when I'm going to say, you know what? It's a clean slate. It's fresh. It's time to go.
Tommy believes Shakir is still in one.
I do.
I mean, look, I think what they tried to do last year by making Shakir the one was essentially taking what the Chiefs were doing with Kelsey and putting that role onto Shakir, right? Or you could think about it like this, because of the fact that we are running a pretty large amount of Sean Payton's New Orleans offense, right? The role that Shakir plays is more of that Alvin Kamara role, because Alvin Kamara was the one getting a lot of those screens, getting a lot of those short passes and stuff like that. That's a lot of the stuff that you saw Shakir doing last year, right? One of the things that you didn't really see a lot of with the Saints was they always had that number one receiver, and they had the running backs that they had. Who was the other guy aside from Alvin Kamara that was there before Kamara? The Alabama running back.
Ingram.
Yeah, Ingram. So they had the running game. They always had a running game, and then they had their number one receiver, and then just a bunch of guys after that guy, right? But the way they operated their system in New Orleans anyway, that number one receiver got so much of the target share that the other receivers oftentimes never mattered. Now, I don't know if that was a GM issue. I don't know if that was a Sean Payton issue. I don't know why they never seemed to get very many options outside of Michael Thomas and Marcus Colston before that. But with what the Bills have now, you now have an opportunity to force focus off of Shakir with Josh Palmer outside. And I think the part that's frustrating for me is this, and this was the Sal Capaccio thing that I wanted to address from this morning. So Sal Capaccio was asked to predict target shares, or the how many receptions each offensive player would get, right? Sal predicted 55, 60, and 65 receptions for Samuel, Moore, and Palmer, respectively. So Palmer gets 65 receptions, Moore gets 60, and Samuel gets 55. And then Keon Coleman's going to get, I think he put 70 or something like that.
Oh, but Josh Allen's only projected to have 3,700 yards.
Well, what they did is they went based off of the attempts last year, which I think was like 470 something, or no, it's like 470, 480 something around there.
It's like, I think it's 480. Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been 487. Yeah, I think it might have, I think it was 487. So they took that and they just rounded it off at 500, and then they disseminated 500 attempts or targets amongst all of the offensive players. And basically what Sal did is he said our top 3 highest paid wide receivers are going to be the guys getting the least amount of targets of the entire receiving core after Keon Coleman.
He's crazy.
He's crazy. Look, this is, to me, this is the issue that I take with Sal.
Not you, Sal. The other Sal.
Yeah, Capaccio.
Evil Sal. No,
just in general. Yeah, Evil Sal is right. No, look.
I'm just messing around.
The one thing that you hear Sal Capaccio say a lot is he tries to deflect his own opinion and answer the question from what the Bills will do.
He'll tell you that. Yeah, he says it straight up.
He says it all the time. And it's like, dude,
what do you think?
Exactly.
Yeah, I just want to know what you think.
Like, we get it, but you're on the inside probably more than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And you have more insight into what's going on in there, probably more than anybody else that has an opportunity to talk about it regularly.
And, you know, to your point, the thing about that really drives me nuts is the fact that by him saying that defense mechanism tells you he doesn't agree with anything they do. That's what it tells me.
That's what I was trying to get to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I'm glad you brought it out because it probably would have taken me a minute. but that's the point that I was trying to get to is like when I was thinking about that, I'm like, why would he just be so okay with never talking about what he thought unless he didn't necessarily agree with everything? And we know based on history, I mean, somebody at WGR has probably got the receipts of a lot of the criticisms that Sal Capaccio had on the team when they were doing silly stuff like this back then during the drought. So it's not wild or outrageous to think that he would disagree with something the Bills do just because he's the Buffalo Bills beat reporter now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So or sideline reporter rather. Yep. So I do think, and this is just a theory, you know, but again, I need to hear Sal Capaccio say that he specifically 100% agrees with everything they do to combine that with this oath that he's taken to answer every question from the Bills' perspective. And then I'll take that as, okay, he's trying to answer the question like that, not because he disagrees with what the team is doing himself, but because he believes in what the team is doing and he believes in whatever else. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And when I say believe in, I mean, like you have no doubt whatsoever that the Bills will win a Super Bowl this year.
Right.
And there are some people who are fans where it's very easy for them to do that. And if you're one of those people, more power to you. But I like to think critically. I like to look at the evidence. I like to look at the information that's presented. I like to, compile everything and just have this major convergence of information right in front of me and then see what that starts to say to me. See where my brain starts to go with it. And this is the last thing I want to get out of my point on all this. There's to me, this is just my opinion. I think there's a level of confirmation bias with the fan that is unwilling to hear the other side. The fan that is unwilling to entertain the thought that something the Bills are doing might be wrong. If a person's entire debate is all about everything the Bills do is right and everything that you think the Bills doing is wrong, you're just an idiot. I think you're one of those confirmation bias people. You've already made up in your mind that whatever the team does is right, and you will find every single reason to believe that what they do is right. And to be fair, conversely, if you're one of those people that thinks everything they do is wrong, there might be some confirmation bias there.
And that's not us. I know you guys think it is, but it's not.
That's exactly what Laura was probably poking at there. She's about to put it in the chat anytime.
She's like, oh, she's deleting that.
That's right.
Beat me to it.
But again, that's why I pulled up those two comments before, because this show is about bringing out both sides, and wherever you land on the conversation is where you land. But we aren't about to sit here for 2 hours and only talk about all the great stuff that the Buffalo Bills do. There are a lot of great things that the Buffalo Bills do. The consistency in winning is fun to a degree until you get to the AFC Championship game, and then you got to deal with that sour taste in your mouth for the rest of the offseason, and then hear about all the Super Bowls you didn't win and hear about all the times that you choked. Like that's not fun. That it gets worse with every loss in the postseason. And actually, I got one more point. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I know I'm going long. I'm sorry. So this is the last.
I'm just doing my taxes while you talk. No, but
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I hope you get a lot. I really do.
No, you're good.
So the last thought is this, and I might have just lost it. What did I write that down? I don't think I wrote it down. All right, I forgot it. So anyway, how are your taxes going?
They're going good. I got it. I owe a little bit, but it's all right. No,
it's the 15th already.
Right. Oh man, I'm still 40.
Hey.
But yeah, no, I think Tommy asked, is the 2002 Bills wide receivers room the best we've had? I was looking back to see, I don't know how far back you're going, but I was looking back to see if there were any better. And I would probably say you're right. If you think about, Andre Reed and James Lofton and BB and Al, I forgot his last name now because I was like 8 when he was playing, but whatever. Even Keith McKellar was a wide receiver convert. But yeah, I think you're probably right just because Eric Moulds is there. Did Eric Moulds and Andre Reed play on the same team? I think they did.
Yeah, that would have been his rookie season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you're talking about just the man or the actual season they had that year. So I didn't know. Tommy, I didn't know if you were talking about like the actual output in that given season or, just how their overall wide receiver body was. So yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out, whether or not that was you were talking about or how you were going with that. And you also, you texted me earlier, you want to talk about, the greatest drought coach, I think it was, you said?
Just top 5 drought coaches, man. Like
top 5 drought coaches.
Top 5 drought coaches.
That should be easy. Are there 5 good ones we can talk about? Because they all like merged together at that point.
I mean, I wasn't really familiar with head coaches until probably Chan Gailey, maybe a little bit before that.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, I'll give you guys a rundown for guys that don't know who the coaches were. Wade Phillips, Greg Williams, Malarkey, Dick Duran, Chan Gailey, Doug Marrone, Rex Ryan, and that's it. So, I mean, by virtue of that, I think, and I want you guys to oppose me if you do want to, but we all know that Dick Duran was the best coach we've had in the drought.
Dick, like, are you? Yeah, put the camera on him, please. They need to see that devious A look, like he trying to start some ish up in here.
I'm scrolling like nobody said it. Okay, no bones said Duran. I'm like, okay, well,
nah, it's easily Wade Phillips. Easily.
You think so?
Bro, he's got the highest winning percentage out of all of them.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean, the thing. Oh no, it's got to be Chan Gailey.
Why you say that?
Because look what he did with what he had. Josh Allen.
That's a good point.
Now, can we not bring those garbage coordinators that he had? Because that's the problem. That was his downfall.
Yeah.
It was Dennis Edwards, not Dennis Edwards. Was it Dennis Edwards?
It was George Edwards. Was
George Edwards.
Coordinator.
See, I don't even remember his first name. But yeah, I think if you
who was the
offensive coordinator?
Oh yeah,
whoever the quarterback coach was. I think. Let me just pull it up real quick. 2012. The OC was probably listed as Curtis Modkins.
Oh God.
Yeah, he was a quarterback coach, I think.
Yeah.
Laura said I hated 99% of them. Well, it was only like 5 of them. They all just like fizzled out real quick. But no, I think we would have won a Super Bowl with Wade and Flutie. Well, we definitely would have got to the Super Bowl at least.
Here's the question, I mean,
actually, yeah, you're right. I just thought about it. Mafia, he's disqualified because he was in the playoffs in '99. Wade Phillips. True. Go ahead.
How good of a job do you think Anthony Lynn would have done? Let's just say everything after 2017 happened the same way in terms of like draft picks and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you think Anthony Lynn would have been like the same type of guy that Sean McDermott is? Did he strike you as that type of guy? And he was an offensive head coach and the first one since Chan Gailey.
I know where you're going. I respect your question. No, I'm joking.
But I'm about to disrespect the mess.
No, I think Lynn was even more standoffish. I think he was more like an Eric Bieniemy kind of guy.
To the media, you mean, or to
not
the team?
To the players? I don't think players liked him.
Yeah, he had that same issue in San Diego.
Yep. Yeah, it was short lived. I think he's more of an Eric Bieniemy kind of guy.
Interesting.
So, yeah, Mafia, you're right. I'm 41. In 99, I was what? I don't remember those years anymore. 15?
No, 99.
Oh,
yeah,
it was 15.
Yeah.
So yeah, what? Huh? Say it a little louder in there, son. Speak in my good ear.
Our son, the man was 15, 6'6".
That's true. 100% true.
Wow. Yeah.
He thought he was being funny. No, it's true. 100%.
Yo, Sal, I agree.
I was trying to be funny, but that's actually true.
Nope.
Right.
I thought that was a lie.
You thought it was a joke.
I thought it was.
It's actually 100% Wikipedia.
Right.
Sal says Chan Gailey offense was cutting edge. Wish Allen had him. 100%.
That's what I'm saying. If you think about what everybody said about Josh Allen and what he's doing with what he has, and I really hate that because somewhere, somehow, some other one of the players is listening to us. They're probably not, but it's still when you say what he had, what kind of slap in the face is that to the guys on your team? I mean, you should be ashamed of yourselves, Bills fans.
Yeah,
guys that call us negative. I pity the fool. Dwayne Carter, you're garbage. No, this person is DeMar Hamlin. Trash. No, because they're better than me. So who am I to call them garbage?
Right.
Maybe they're not as good as their peers, but it's like, get somebody in there that can do this. Like, we think to hear them say that. Hear somebody say, well, I know my limitations, but I don't need you to tell me what my limitations are. Yeah. Screw you. I can do this. And then they open a whole can of worms.
So I want to ask you this question, and this is for everybody in the chat. Right? Feel free to answer or don't. Do you guys think that Mike Mularkey could win a lot of games with Josh Allen as his quarterback?
I don't even remember Mularkey, honestly.
Well, that's kind of his MO.
Yeah, he's very. Wasn't he didn't he go to Jacksonville?
Yes.
Okay, what did he have? He had.
No, I'm sorry. You thinking of Doug Marrone? I'm sorry. You thinking?
No, Mularkey. Where did he go? Where did he go after here? He went somewhere. Where did he go?
I'm about to tell you.
Yeah, he was in Tennessee, Jacksonville, after Buffalo. So he's Buffalo, then Jacksonville.
Got you.
And then Tennessee. Yeah, so that's right.
Okay.
I'm looking at his starting quarterback or his best quarterback in 2004.
Who was?
2005. I'm sorry, Kelly Holcomb.
No, Buffalo Bills great.
Kelly Holcomb was his top passer. Yeah. What did we do? we had let's see, under Bledsoe he was 7th in points. We were 8th in points against, 25th in yards. So we didn't. I don't know. Chat, what do you think? I don't know enough.
He was a run the ball guy, but
I don't know enough about him.
Okay.
No. Bones Gailey was Fitz. Gailey was Bledsoe was the Mularkey and Williams. No, he was with Williams.
Okay. Okay. So how about Dick Duran? You think Dick Duran could have won a bunch of games with Josh Allen?
What kind of name
No.
is that?
That's his name, Richard Duran. No, I don't. Only reason I say no is because he was a defensive guy and his defenses was stunk. They were bad. So
really,
yeah, they weren't that great. I mean,
really,
when you think about how bad the offense was, and you look at what we did with Schwartz, and that was the kind of deal where it was like we're bad, but we're better than the offense, so we're good. You know what I
mean? Okay.
Because if you look at Duran points against, he was 10th. His best year was top 10. He had a 14 ranked and 18 ranked. Yards against, he was 14th in yards against, 31st in yards against, and 18th in yards against. Where else are we going with this? Let's this thing out of here. Let's see, Duran. Trying to see what other stats we have here. Plus minus points overall, he was 23rd, 20th, and 25th. And yards plus minus, he was 26th, 24th, and 31st. So yeah, his defenses were like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, Dick Duran's claim to fame, I guess, is just about the same as Sean McDermott's, just about the same as Doug Marone's. Mike Mularkey was a little looser in a sense, but he was still a disciplined guy, you know, hard lunch pail, hard hat type of guy. You know what I mean? And the reason I'm even asking about Josh Allen being with any of these other quarterbacks is the idea that the winning is not coming from the head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I would contend that the only coaches that the winning came from in general in the drought from drought era to now is Chan Gailey.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one. When you look at what he had on the field and you look at the games they won and you look at the competition they had around the division they played in, all of that stuff, any wins that man got came from him. Right? It was his offensive system that carried the whole team. Like you said, the defense sucked under George Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
So when I kind of fast forward to now, and I'm glad you mentioned what you did about Dick Duran, about his defenses being bad, because essentially Sean McDermott's defenses are Dick Duran's defenses in the postseason.
What's his first name?
His name is Dick.
You heard it right?
Hold
Good?
on.
You should. I wish you had a Cartman voice.
Bro.
His name is.
Bro.
Hello. His name is Dick.
That's even worse. You should have left it
Yeah.
alone. Should have left it alone.
What?
Nah, you brought it on yourself.
Get your mans.
What's
bro.
wrong with what I said?
Get your mans, yo.
Richard Dick. That's right, no balls.
Y'all want to
Yep.
see you crash out today?
Well, in your little room over there, crash
Yeah,
out.
well,
All right, how about now? How about
Yes,
His name
Say that
is
again.
Dick Duran.
Yo, I'm about to-
That's his name.
about to go over there in a
It's
minute.
Dick Richard. There you go,
Yeah,
no
I'm about
balls.
to go over there in a minute. I'm about to go over there in a minute and crash out. That's what I'm finna
His
do.
name is Dick Richard.
Yo,
Yo, that is hilarious. Oh man, that is the best.
Yo, but do the rest
Yo,
of the
Laura.
show in his voice.
Laura, help me out, bro. I'm sitting here sweating, bro. I'm about to lose my mind, yo.
Yo, she just said it. She said,
Yo,
What she say, Key?
Laura said, Judy's brain's breaking over Dick Duran.
this is amazing.
This is not amazing. What do you mean? This is not
His
amazing.
name is Dick Duran.
Why are you saying that? Get it out of my ear, bro. Pause.
This is hilarious.
It's not hilarious.
Oh.
It's not.
I'm crying, bro.
But that's like, what's going on? Yeah, this is what happens when you get Mr. Paws over there.
That's right. That's right. We gotta trip him up.
But yeah, no, we got Dick Duran won coach.
Oh
of
my
the year.
God, Key.
Okay, Duran Dick was better than McD. So what?
No, McGee's worse too.
So he played defensive back in the NFL. McDermott never did that, but he was at William and Mary though.
Who? Wait, what happened?
Steve said false. Duran won coach of the year, played DB in the NFL. McDermott never did that. He's the Timu version. No, he was a safety at William and Mary. Damn it,
That's not in the NFL. Duran played safety in the NFL. though.
better. It's better. It's William and Mary. He had the jersey with his abs out. He was doing this thing, cracking cats. I seen highlights.
Trash.
You trying really hard right now.
Dirty, straight trash. I'm kidding.
Let's see.
You trying your hardest right now.
He had Dave Weinstead as a defensive coordinator because he got to be the worst defense. Yeah. I mean, that's that. Yeah. I mean, that's the long and short of it. You know, Dick Duran was. Yeah, he was.
Bro.
But I'm sitting here thinking about if Josh Allen had Doug Marrone, we wouldn't have Josh Allen as our quarterback. Just so people know that. Let's be in
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
Doug Marrone would have ruined Josh Allen the first year. He would have been sitting on. He would have been, hopefully a reclamation project somewhere else.
Well, look, what's the difference between Sean McDermott and all these other head coaches? He hired Brian Daboll.
He did.
Like that to me, like the moves that he made early on were very, very intelligent.
Yeah.
him bringing in Leslie Frazier, great coordinator in terms of like the defenses that he built in Minnesota, the defenses that he built in general, always great against the run, always good in pass rush. Defensive line was always nice. You know what I'm saying? And he knew how to work with really, really great players. He had Pat Williams. He had Kevin Williams. He had Jared Allen in his prime. Like, he worked with some really great defensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me was an awesome move. Moving off of Rick Dennison, I thought was amazing too, because the Shanahan offense at that point had not yet evolved enough to be brought back the way that they were trying to bring it back. The boot action stuff and everything that Rick Dennison came from, we weren't going to be able to run that effectively with Tyrod Taylor, because he wasn't the type of guy that really took pride in being a dual threat quarterback. You know what I'm saying? He ran when he had to, not to be a threat. And he didn't throw the ball as a threat either. You know what I mean? He was safe. Everything was safe with Tyrod. So anyway, my point in saying all that is,
it wasn't even me, y'all. See, it wasn't even me. I didn't even do it.
Right. But the point here is, early on, the moves that Sean McDermott made were great, right? Getting rid of Dennison and bringing Dayball in here. As soon as I saw that, I was like, instant success. Look at what he was able to do with that Randy Moss offense.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what Dayball was able to do in college at Alabama. So this is a guy that knows how to design an offense. Bring him in here to work with this young quarterback. It's gonna be fine.
Right.
And it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, in my mind, the biggest difference between Sean McDermott and Dick Duran.
You feeling real delightful saying that name, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How about if I say it like this?
No, we're not doing this again.
Look,
We're not. No,
the point I'm trying to make.
no, ain't no
The point I'm
you
trying to make. Just let me finish my point.
Ain't no
Just let
point.
me finish my
There's no
point.
point you gotta make.
Listen.
There's no point you have to make.
You gonna let me talk?
I let you talk. Nothing.
You gonna let me
I am
talk?
the producer. I monitor the cameras.
I'll mute your mic right now.
I will tear up everything in this joint. Keep playing.
I'll come kick over them cameras real quick.
Right.
All right. We running out of time. We gotta get moving.
We
So
had one more exercise that was a fun exercise that was brought up and we laughed about.
did
it.
we? What did we say?
Well, finish the thought and I'll pull it up.
Okay. So I mean, look, we can, anybody who wants to debate this after the show, we can debate this, but I still think there's no difference between Sean McDermott and any of these other coaches, minus when you include or when you subtract, I guess, Brian Daboll from the conversation and Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, those two things are the reason why Sean McDermott has the best winning percentage of any of our coaches. And his winning percentage, if we're being honest here, is not that much better than Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips was 604.
I was gonna say I'm gonna recant that, Spin, and not because Spin said it. Wade Phillips was a drought coach.
Yes, he was.
He started the drought, and he only went to the wild. He lost in wild card 2 years in a row.
Right.
So technically, no, he got to the playoffs, but he started the drought.
Right. Yes, exactly. So to me, I mean, Wade Phillips with the team that he had in the era he played in, maybe he should have won a little bit more, but he definitely got cheated in the home run throwback game. You know what I'm saying? So again, say what you want, but when you put all of this information in a vacuum, Sean McDermott is not the one that is causing these wins. And I think we need to kind of really take a hard look at that when we think about the record, the schedule the Bills have this season, the quarterbacks that they're going to play against, and this opportunity, this real wide open opportunity that is hand designed for the Bills to have the 1 seed this season. If Sean can't get it done with all of that, we need to start having a real hard conversation about whether or not he should be here going forward. Because again, I might continue to say this all off season. This is a head coach that has perhaps the best quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. I think Josh is better than Mahomes. And on top of that, He's had top 10 defenses in playoffs. He's had the number 1 defense. He's had home playoff games. He's had all these other advantages, everything else. He's had a number 1 receiver. He's got a good running back now. He's got a good offensive line now. He's got all these things. Last year, the team was mostly healthy right up until the AFC Championship game. Like all these things that tell you the team should win, and they don't. And then you can look at specific decisions made in the games that lead you to, why'd you do that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, all right, let's get to this last exercise.
Okay. I was gonna say, well, I don't think Sal's take was bad. Sal said Dabo was a great coordinator. He made Allen and McDermott. I get what you're saying. Allen MVP without Dabo and less interceptions, but who started that? Who got him from where he was to being a polished quarterback to be passed on to the guy that wasn't?
Yeah.
It was Dabo.
I mean, that's pretty much my take. That's what I just said.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I was listening to everything you said. I'm sitting here thinking, you know, Allen wouldn't been Allen, I don't think, without Dabo. Do I think he was going to be bad? No, but I don't think without the village he had, without the quarterback coach, without the offensive coordinator, without the backup quarterback that could sit with him and tell him, you know, Dabo would get in his face and tell him, what the F were you doing? What were you thinking about? Watch here, look here, do this. And then you got to think about the other factors too. If McDermott is the tyrant, this hired, but this type A guy, who was the buffer? It was Dabo. Why is Dabo not here? Because he's not putting up with that nonsense. He don't care about his job. He's like, I can go anywhere. He probably told McDermott that. I can go anywhere. Look what I did. I took this dude from 52% completions, more interceptions than touchdowns. Now look at him. He's on his way. Oh, you brought in Steph Diggs? Oh, look at him. And Josh just happened to get a guy that worked with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, somebody that knows how to win on a big stage. It's not the NFL, but the SEC is damn close. And he was a winner. So I mean, Josh Allen had a nice little send off. It's like I said, and it's funny because I said in our Discord, I think, you seen it, but he said, he's some people's Messiah. That's the thing about, like, he really is some people's Messiah.
We might have to debate that. Ken had just as much of an impact.
Nah,
Dorsey?
That'd be Palmer.
Yeah, right.
Palmer.
Right.
Yeah, Dorsey was a quarterback coach, but Josh Allen went to Jordan Palmer's camp multiple times.
That was the issue was his accuracy, and the issue was his mechanics to fix his accuracy. The work that was done was in the offseason with Palmer, not Dorsey. Right. Dorsey, you got to keep in mind, some of these quarterbacks coaches are not specialists. And just because they have the title doesn't mean that they have the same talent or ability as a guy like Jordan Palmer, who has refused to be a coach for any team because of the amount of money he's making on, in his business, which I completely understand. That's beside the point. But there are some offensive minds out there, like a Bruce Arians. They call him the quarterback whisperer. Why? Because just about every quarterback that he's chosen has come up under him and played extremely well. What's Ken Dorsey's track record? Terrible offenses. Yeah,
and we got a little discourse, and the thing is, nobody said Ken Dorsey didn't have any impact. Mafia said Ken Dorsey helped a lot. He helped Allen a lot. Of course, he was a quarterback coach, but let's really focus on who really transformed the mechanics. What camp did he go to? What camp did he keep going back to, and why did he go back to that camp over and over and over again? Because it was working. You're paying $50,000, we'll say, to go to this camp. There's a reason why Jordan Palmer will not be an OC.
Right.
There's a reason why he will not be a quarterback coach, because he makes way more money doing what he does.
Yep.
And there's a reason for that. He charges out the nose because people know what he's done.
Yep.
Josh Allen is working with Anthony Richardson now with his people, but with Josh Allen's people to try to help him out. But the thing is, it's his people. It's not Ken Dorsey. Josh Allen didn't hire. He could have easily $258 million. I'll pay your salary. Just work with me. You're like my barber, my traveling barber. Whenever I have a question, I can call you. No, he said, you know what? I'll go here. Ken was an excellent quarterback coach. Proof is there. With okay, Tommy, who has he worked with? And I really don't know enough to say who he's worked with to call him an excellent quarterback coach. Why you ponder that? Are you good on this topic, or do you have anything else?
OLI says let's make a bet on Daboll's career. Then I got time to be right. What kind of bet you talking about, man?
No, he's got to be an OC. Daboll's got to be an OC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that bet if we're talking about not head coach.
Yeah,
he's an OC.
It's a completely different role,
Right.
head coach from coordinator.
Yeah, I bet Dayball's offense is going to be high powered.
Absolutely. Everywhere he's been, it's been like that.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere. And look, when you're talking about track record in a specific role, I mean, at this point in the game, who would you rather have? Would you rather have Joe Brady or would you rather have Brian Daboll? Like which offensive coordinator has had the best game against the Chiefs? It's easily Brian Daboll, right? And you talk about this everybody eats offense. Okay, well, if everybody eats, that means everybody's good, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, what do the numbers bear out in that divisional round? In that divisional round game, the numbers are, the passing yards are better, the rushing yards are better than the AFC Championship game prior, right? The numbers are the passing yards for sure are better in the 13 seconds game than last year's AFC Championship game. Why is that? Oh, well, they had better weapons. Yeah, because Brian Daboll made it so.
Yep,
he told them what to go get. He told them what he needed, and they trusted him, and it benefited.
They did it. Yep. Yeah. He said Cam Newton credited Ken Dorsey for his early success. Okay. I mean, Cam Newton was that's fine. So you ready for the okay, so in the Discord, guys. Okay, I got two things here before I go into this. We got 1,571 subscribers or people watching this show right now. What did our subscribers look like on our channel? Go down there. Go over. We did a show on Tuesday. Where were you guys? We needed your support. It was a fire show. We spit hot fire on that show. And I looked, I said,
like 1,530 of you.
Yeah, I was like, what happened?
Super hot fire.
I felt like we were doing our 30th show again. I'm like, oh man, I ain't seen that number in a while.
This is actually our 200th video, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I like first and foremost, I want to thank you guys for watching, but also I want you to go down to our link, Post Podium Podcast. Type that in YouTube. You can even pause us right now. You can come back to this later if you want. I don't care. Yeah. But go over there because if we don't do a show here, we'll do a show there. Trust me. We've done it before and we'll do it again. Die line, yes. Right. And in the Discord, this is what happened. We got I'd say 12 minutes to end the show. So what I want to do real fast, you mentioned it. Somebody mentioned it as a joke, but I kind of thought about it, and you know how I am.
Cool.
I can't drop it.
I
can't do it. What bills would you pick to go get? Yo, so some wings and things.
Some wings and beer.
The wings and beer. Who would you want to have some wings and beer with if you could choose any bill on this team?
Oh man.
Can I do one too?
Yeah. Who you getting wings and beer with, son?
Fred Jackson.
Fred Jackson. Oh man. He was just at an event too with Damaris was there. He had a chance to talk to Fred Jackson too.
He's a quiet dude.
Actually, no, I'm
a quiet dude.
Is he?
He's a real quiet dude. His wife talks a lot, but he don't.
What'd you say, John?
I got beef with him.
With Fred?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I remember.
Oh, when you went to the camp?
Yeah.
We'll get that football sign.
That's right.
He shut me to the ground when I was guarding him.
Oh well.
He shut me to the ground.
Yeah, because you had him beat and he had to take you down.
Before you guys go too far, it's current bills.
Current bills.
Yeah,
okay.
current bills.
All right. So 2025.
Yeah. Only reason I said it because people are naming like old guys, and that's too easy. I would. Say too.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I don't have anybody. So
okay. So for me, 2025 bills. For sure, Keon Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it when he was here. We had a chance to hang out, talked a lot, but I great energy. Dude got great energy. I loved it. James Cook for sure, because he seemed like a pretty chill dude. I consider myself to be a pretty chill dude. I don't really get riled up in my real life too much.
This is all a fantasy. This isn't real.
All right, so I'll make it quick. Keon, James Cook, defensive players. Do I have any defensive players? Not anymore. Not anymore.
Dorothy, close your ears.
Because
you about to slander Benford by saying that somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Well. Definitely not Benford. Oh, no. I eat some wings and drink some beer with Cybo. I definitely do that with Cybo. Van Pran, I would love to have a beer with and eat some wings. And then lastly, I got to pick one defensive player. Can I get one defensive? You know what? Ed Oliver.
Okay.
Ed Oliver for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I you know how I am. Hey, Laura, guess what? I got hierarchies.
Oh my God. I got 5 in this position and 5 in this position.
In my ranking.
And if you look through these 4 stats, I'll pick these 5 guys.
You gotta have a kicker to it.
I don't know who it is. Well, Tyler Bass, he has a little crossing on his eye.
You got to go with the punter, bro.
Camardi?
The punter is always better.
Camarda?
Yeah.
I guess.
Think about it. He's got the least pressure on the team.
So first, my first category is I would do, but nah. Spencer Brown and Dawson Knox.
Both of those dudes?
I wouldn't with anyone.
Oh, you wouldn't?
Nah.
Wow. Why?
Because they both could outdrink me one. And either one of them would start singing Mr. Brightside. I can't have that.
See, I think Dawson Knox would stop. Like he would stop himself before he gets too far out of control.
He's got that raspy voice though. I don't. He sounds like he lifts a lot of weight. And they would probably start singing Mr. Brightside. You know, that would piss me off. And I'm drunk. You don't want that. So one of them's gonna start a bar fight, and I'm 41. I'm not in it no more. I can't. You
might not even have to do anything if you got both of them there.
They just lift me up and put me to the side.
Spencer will just slide you across the floor.
I got this one. Get your ass score out there. Do your thing.
Spence, I'm standing still. How you moving me like this, bro?
Am I on skates? Let's see. Other choices who would sit there and be quiet. F that. Don't be a buzzkill. Let's laugh, joke, and let it all hang out. Terrell Bernard and Christian Benford. I think they're just too quiet. Khalil Shakir, he makes that list too because they're just like PC. They're gonna watch what they say. They don't know how to, I just feel like you remember in Coming to America, you might not, but there was a scene where Akeem was sitting outside of an event he was working, and he was on a swing, and he's sitting like this the whole time on a swing, and the girl's like, "You can loosen up now." He's like, she's like, "No, for real, you're good." He's like, ugh. And that's what I feel Shakir and Bernard and Benford. That's what I feel they are. Okay. They're quiet. Nothing wrong with that. But just when you're out there doing your thing, that's not for me.
Got you.
Now, some will be like pulling teeth. Himbo, sorry, dude. Nope. You my guy.
Really?
But I ain't got 3 years to make you trust me.
I don't think it's about that.
I feel like he needs to trust you to talk. I feel like that's how he is. I know guys like that. That got that they'll keep you, at a distance. And they won't let you too far in. So you're like, man, I got to gain this dude's trust. I'm talking about, my tab can only go so long.
Keon came in like that.
See, that's the thing. I think Cook is the real deal. Keon, I think he's young. I think he's trying to figure out. But James Cook, even when he smiled, he just can't get it done. This dude is polite. I've dealt with him. He calls me sir. I'm like, am I that old? I got to be sir now? Damn. Okay.
Okay.
So other guys I wouldn't drink with. Josh Allen. I don't want to hear.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in that.
No, I don't. I mean, somebody said Josh, and it's not about Josh being Josh or anything like that. It's just I just don't think I don't want to hear sound bites.
Sound bites?
I don't want sound bites. I don't want somebody to walk and be like, I don't want that. I want I don't want this. I don't want to watch my image.
You think you would get that no matter what?
Yeah.
Wow.
But the guys that I would, the Waynes and things, Dwayne Carter. Dude, he's a vibe. He's got a personality. He's smart. He's articulate. He can carry a conversation. When I was watching Cover One, I'm like,
wait, you met him?
I did once.
Okay.
I did once.
You got to pick 4 more players you never met then.
Okay. TJ Sanders.
Okay.
Why? Because he disrespected blue cheese.
So you want to drink him under the table now?
I don't. Yeah, because the thing was, I think that's the first time I've ever seen a one of those Bills rookie snippets.
Okay,
where that bleep words out because he cursed in it. That's a real cat. I want him in my entourage
because he said a cuss word.
I mean, he was real, but the thing is, he like I don't know if you saw people say Lennon Jackson. He's like, this is blue cheese, huh? All right, I'll just try it. He's like, oh, this is great. And he's like, I love blue cheese. I love buffalo. I'm like, oh God.
I should have said Deion Walker because Deion Walker was like,
he was close.
I'm gonna do
I'm
this.
gonna eat it, but this ain't really.
this
This ain't it.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and not dip no
this
more.
blue
Though.
cheese ain't it.
Well, but that's Josh. I think he does drink slightly because, however it went, they were talking about how when Josh signed his extension, he sent a bottle of some aged whiskey to Beam, and they had a glass virtually. So he does drink to some extent. He's not like completely not drinking.
Yeah.
Slick Rick. No. Deion Dawkins. I mean, let's face it. He's snowman. Personality outshines it. Shirt or no shirt, it doesn't matter. He's gonna give me whatever he's got.
Which do you prefer though?
If I'm drinking, no shirt.
No shirt. Okay.
Yeah, because I need the stories.
Yeah.
I need the tea.
Yeah.
I need it.
You're gonna get it with no shirt.
Exactly. The shirt.
That shirt's crazy.
Watch the difference.
No shirt Deion is a
no
big
shirt
difference,
Deion.
bro.
He gonna have you laughing.
Yeah.
He might drop a couple words that I don't
hate
say.
Deion.
Yeah.
I know you do. So you gotta know how to do it. You gotta be around me more. You can't.
Well, I think Dad knows why I hate Deion.
I know why too. I know why.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of Deion either.
We know you aren't.
Yeah.
Because you know,
like he seems like he might be a great person. It's just like all of the pageantry. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not that good to be doing all of this stuff.
See, that's the thing. I don't need the
Trash.
pageantry. I'm the kind of dude like you guys. Like I said, TJ Sanders. He didn't give you the PC line. He didn't push the he didn't say what he wanted to say. He said, I gotta open this S again. I'm like, yeah, that's your number 2 draft pick. Don't like blue cheese. And he said, somebody said I'm gonna have ranch. Max Harrison, I'm gonna go ahead and dip it again. Pa! He had it over here. I'm like, okay, overkill. I like how it marries itself. I'm like, get out of here. You're talking too much. If I'm drinking, I don't want to hear all this intellectual garbage. KJ Hamler, because he's just a pest. I feel like if he makes the team, James Cook said he's the funniest dude on the team easily. You know, he said that Spencer would be
Deion slander.
I didn't slander
we
him.
subscribe, so we can say what we
Yeah,
want.
I'm a slander all I want.
We know you
slander
are.
all I want. Okay.
We know you are, but no, I think KJ Hamler, I definitely would. He's definitely, James Cook said, one of the funniest guys. He said Tim Settle was the funniest guy, but now it's KJ Hamler.
Wow.
And I've seen clips of him, and he just seems like he's always in the midst of something, just bothering somebody, Keon Coleman or whoever the case may be, on whatever the case may be. So he can keep a party going. Ed Oliver I threw in there because I've interacted with him, but I never really interacted with him. So you know, he's a quieter guy, but he can get it cracking too if you want him to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you looking at like having a smashing good time with these dudes, like you know what I'm saying, like
a ripping good time.
Yeah. right.
Mm-hmm.
Like you talking about getting wild at the bar. I'm like, I'm thinking about like we just sitting down with a beer and some wings, kicking it. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. These guys will make me laugh. These guys
okay.
don't carry a conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see like the round table, we just having a ball, like not talking about nothing, but we laughing and talking at the same time. So I think that's where I am with it. So yeah, but I mean, it's cool and all. If you're
Tommy said, how about a coach?
McD, I want to get him drunk.
No way.
I want to get him drunk.
No
and
way.
I want to talk to McD. I want him to say, man, F them reporters.
He won't even drink around you. He'll just stare at you the whole
You know
time.
what's funny about him? They say he's a hell of a dancer. They said he loves to dance.
He's a hell of a dancer.
They say he knows about the rules of engagement at weddings.
The rules of engagement.
Yeah, you got to bring 2 shirts. He said he sweats through the first one. So he brings I'm like,
yeah.
I didn't say he could dance well, but if you get up there, I want to see him wobble. I need to see him wobble. I need to see everybody wobble though. Yeah, so McD would be my choice for coaches. But if you don't drink the beer, I mean, McD, I'm sure I can interest you in a cup of Reese tea. I think he can have some Reese tea.
Yeah, he would. He might try some of that.
Sip that. You know,
he might be a
dad
sweet tea
pop.
guy. Yeah. Southern dude.
Yeah, because it's 1 part refreshing, 1 part delicious, 2 parts healthy. That's what you can expect when there are only 4. Count on 4 ingredients. I don't even drink tea, but guess what? Let me tell you, that's a good drink right there. Reese tea. What are you doing? Head over to Reese. Get yourself a case or the individual. Don't waste your time getting individuals. Get the case. We only do big business here. You won't be disappointed. Well, what do I know? See for yourself. Reese tea. Click the link in the description below. Use the code PPP, Post Podium Podcast. Let them know who sent you.
That was fire.
The what? The segue?
Yeah. Like the way he just stepped right into it. Like that was tough.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's mastering that thing.
Yeah, he is.
All right, here we go. All right, if you're hearing that music, it's time for us to jump out the window. So here's what I need everybody to do if you have not done this already. I need you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're on Twitter, go ahead and give us a follow. You can find Keys at, what is it, K-Ham?
Yeah, 784, something like that. I'll put it in the thing. I don't know. I'll put it in the thing.
All right, you can find it. So if you're on Twitter, go ahead and follow us there.
You can just type my name in, Keysshon.
There you go. And then for me, it's at Post Podium Pod. All right, that's where you can find us on Twitter. On YouTube, you want to go, bam, right there at the Post Podium Podcast. Make sure you put and we'll pop right up there for you.
Oh, you gonna go there, right? You going there, right?
if we could just get half the people to go there,
I would love it.
Right, we want to race to 1,000 right now. 1,000 subscribers is where we want to race to. So here's the thing. Even if you did all of that, you still didn't do the most important thing. You still didn't hit that bell. You gotta hit the notification bell. Subscribing is nice, but if you don't hit the notification bell, you won't get the notifications when we send the notification. Okay, so very important deal. You'll get the notifications when we go live, all that kind of stuff. You gotta hit that bell. Aside from that, the link to our membership program, the Inner Circle, the Post Podium Podcast Inner Circle, that you get access to our Discord chat, you get access to exclusive videos, you get access to a bunch of stuff. We actually do gameplay with people in our membership program if they wanted to get on some Madden or if they want to do some gameplay, whatever, just chilling. We down for that, right? We'll communicate with you. We'll set up a time. We'll do that. Even if it becomes content that we put on the membership page on YouTube for other people to for other members to consume. We're down for all of that. We're here to make content that fits you, that is for you, that is surrounded around you. So, with that being said, we want to thank everybody, all 1,626 of you for tuning in right now. This has been the Post Podium Podcast, home of the All Truth Post Podium Takes. I have been your co-host, Aramis.
With the keys. Go subscribe.
All right. See y'all later. Y'all have a great night.
Yeah.
Peace.